Is it possible to achieve non-diabetic blood sugar numbers without a cure for diabetes? The quick answer is yes. However, today I want to share with you a few of my quick and easy favorite tips for how to lower your A1C to those non-diabetic numbers a bit simpler. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Van de Veck. As you can see here, I am not a doctor. I just simplify blood sugars. I live with type 1 diabetes myself. I'm a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist. And without any further ado, I want to break down some of these easy to implement strategies on how to lower your A1C. Now, coming in hot at number 1 is going to be eat healthy. Now, this is a tip you've probably heard before, but you might not know what exactly you're looking for. So first thing, we're going to use some fancy words here, is to find foods that have a greater micronutrient density. In other words, foods that are healthy, have lots of vitamins and minerals like fruits and vegetables, right? Pretty straightforward stuff, but within the realm of diabetes, there's certain vegetables and fruits that can be more helpful and some that can be more difficult when it comes to blood sugar management. So you're gonna wanna keep an eye on that, especially as it relates to, here's a bonus term, the glycemic index. Now, the glycemic index is a rating scale for food that tells you how likely a food is to spike your blood sugars. So before you go and eat your favorite foods, I challenge you before you jump in there to Google glycemic index of your favorite food. So if it's banana, Google glycemic index of bananas and go ahead and give that a shot. You'll see it rates it from 0 to 100. The higher to 100 it is, the more likely it is to spike your blood sugars. Something to consider. Second half of that first tip, though, I also want to add this in before we move on, is your portion size, right? So if you were to eat a chicken Caesar salad, not that big of a deal for blood sugars. However, if you were to eat 50 chicken Caesar salads, there's a little bit of a different impact you're likely to see on blood sugars. Same thing goes for desserts like cake. If you have a bite of cake, typically it's not that big of a deal. However, if you eat the whole cake, that's a different story, right? It's something we want to consider as we look at our diabetes and our blood sugars. Now, the second tip, my personal favorite and go-to for my diabetes, is exercise. Now, exercise, again, we've heard this one before, but maybe not the specifics as to why it's important for you and I. So exercise, we want to have at least 30 minutes of activity 5 days a week. All right, so 30 minutes plus 5. Now, the type of activity differs person to person. I like to lift weights and go for bike rides. Some people want to go for walks or jogs or hikes, right? The activity type isn't as important as the actual doing of the activity. So get out there, do something fun, enjoy it, but make sure that you are moving around. Now, one of the reasons for this is we want to increase the glucose uptake into our cells from the bloodstream. So we remove the blood sugar from the sugar in the blood, or we remove the sugar in the blood from the blood. You get the idea. We want to lower our blood sugar, right? This is a fantastic way to do it. Get moving, go for a walk, especially if it's after a meal and you got some high blood sugars. It can be very helpful. And the exercise that you choose also will have a varying impact on what is called your insulin sensitivity. Now, this is a game changer for those of us living with diabetes. The more sensitive we are to insulin, the less we need to have a fulfilling, healthy, happy life. Who doesn't want that, right? So exercise more, take less insulin, or require less insulin if your pancreas is still producing it. That's going to be a huge goal in lowering your A1C. Now, as you're going through this process, step number 3 that I want to share with you is to monitor your blood sugar levels. Now, this could be wearing a CGM like I do, a continuous glucose monitor. You could also be pricking your fingers, getting some blood sugar readings manually. The idea, though, is that we want to keep an eye on it to see if what we're doing is working. Keep an eye on your fasting blood glucose levels, which means first thing in the morning, you wake up and you test your blood sugar or you check your CGM devices. But the idea here is that what gets measured gets managed. So the more we keep an eye on our blood sugars, we can see what works, what didn't, and continue making progress. Now, of course, you got to take into consideration any adjustments you might need to make to your medication as well, whether it's oral medication, injecting medication like insulin. These are things you might want to loop your doctor in, or at least consider that conversation. So keeping an eye on your blood sugars should enable you to make more well-informed decisions in relation to your medication and diabetes management overall. And this next grouping that I want to share with you guys, we're going to kind of go through rapid fire because they're all a bit more in the healthy habits kind of a realm. Now, these might seem straightforward as some of the other tips already have as well, but I want you to really take these into consideration as you're looking at managing your diabetes a little bit differently. Now, number 1 and 2 on this list are quit smoking and quit or reduce the alcohol consumption. Now, again, these are pretty straightforward for an average healthy individual trying to make healthier choices, but I want to reiterate these because they can have a massive positive impact. Now, these next 3, you've heard them before. I'm going to say it again. Increase sleep, decrease stress, increase water consumption. Right? More sleep, more water, less stress. Now, part of the reason for this is that the less sleep we get, the more we see an increase in cortisol, which can lead to higher blood sugars. The more stress we have, we can also see an increase in cortisol, which again leads to higher blood sugars. Now, in order to fix that, you kind of have to do what is necessary. You can't just skip sleep and expect it to all work out. You do have to go back, get more sleep, try to find ways to decrease your stress through meditation, breathing techniques, removing stressful things from your life. But hydration, that's a nice and easy one that so many of us forget. Oftentimes, in fact, right now, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little sip myself because I forget. That's why I have it at my desk. So more sleep, less stress, and more water. Now, what I love about this video and why I wanted to make it for you today is that these aren't this new revolutionary method to lowering your A1C. The reality is that doing the simple stuff consistently will often yield the greatest returns in the long run. So what can we do today and tomorrow and the next day that's just simple and straightforward, like drinking more water, going for a walk, making healthier choices that in the long run will have massive rewards for us? That's what I want you to consider today. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Vandevecht. I am a certified master fitness trainer and nutritionist who also lives with diabetes. And what I'd love for you to do is to subscribe to this channel if you're interested in learning more about diabetes. We do cover a lot more advanced topics in the other videos, but I wanted to create this one for anybody who's struggling to get that lower A1C right now. So go ahead, hit subscribe if you found this helpful. And I'd love to hear what was your favorite tip and what is something you will commit to, whether it's simple and straightforward or something more advanced, down in the comments. So let me know which one of these you're going to commit to. Use it as an accountability tool to put it in the comments so it feels real. Call it out. And I look forward to seeing that. And I'll see you in the next video. Have an amazing rest of your day and keep up the fight.